Hi, welcome to the video on comparing and ordering whole numbers. Let's get started by looking at the standard, which will tell us what we must be able to do. The standard is 4.2c. Please read along with me. 4.2, Number and Operations. The student applies mathematical process standards to represent, compare, and order whole numbers and decimals, and understand relationships related to place value. The student is expected to compare and order whole numbers to 1 billion and represent comparisons using the symbols greater than, less than, or equal to. Alright, let's get started with an example problem. Please have paper and pencil ready to go so that you can follow along with me, because the more you do things and practice them, the better you'll be at them. Go ahead and pause the video right now so you can go get your paper and pencil if you don't have it already. And then when you have your supplies ready, your materials ready, go ahead and push play. Okay, for our first example problem, we are going to have to compare these two numbers, 5,207 and 5,217. Now I know, sometimes it's really easy to tell which number is greater. However, I'm going to show you the strategy that I want you to use when you're comparing numbers, because later we're going to have even bigger numbers and we're going to have numbers with decimals. And later we'll even have to order numbers with a lot more digits in them. So please just follow the strategy so that you can learn the correct way to compare these numbers. So every time that you compare numbers, I want you to put it in a place value chart. What you can do for that is rewrite these two numbers with one on top of the other. And we're going to start, I like to start from the back of the number because it's going to help you in the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with this number here. I'm going to copy the digits. 7, 0, 2, 5. And notice how I am leaving space in between my digits so that I can write in them later. So when you write it down, I want you to leave space in between your digits. Okay, now since I started from the back here, I'm going to start from the back with this number as well. And I'm going to write down the digits 7, 1, 2, 5. Then I can put it in the place value chart. And you can label them ones, tens, hundreds. And this is the 1,000th place. So I'm going to write TH for short instead of writing the whole word out. And then I can start, I'm going to separate them in here. I'm going to start comparing them from left all the way to the right. So I'm going to start with my digit that's most on the left. I'm going to get 5 and 5, they're equivalent, or they're the same. I'm going to cross them out. 2 and 2 are the same. But however, when I get to my tens place value, I see that 1 is greater. So I'm going to go up here to my numbers and see which one has a 1 in the tens place. This has a 0 in the tens place. This has a 1. And I'm going to give that side 2 points. This side I'll give 1 point. And then I'm going to connect my points. And then I can read my number, my equation. 5,207 is less than 5,217. And that's how you can compare digits. Whenever, in case you run into this problem in the future, if you have any empty boxes, you put a 0 in the empty boxes. Let's do a really quick model of that right here. Let's say they're asking me to compare the number 97 against the number 117. Okay. I'm going to rewrite my numbers one on top of another, but I'm going to start from the back, from the ones place value. So I'm going to write 7, and then my tens is 9, and I'm going to do that to the back over here. 7, 1, 1. Then I make my place value charts around the digits. And I'm going to label it ones, tens, hundreds. Now you see here, there's an empty box. So to keep your dear teacher happy, you're going to write a 0 in there. So anytime you have an empty spot, just add a 0. And then we can start comparing from left to right. In the hundreds place, I can see right away the 1 is greater than the 0. So I'm going to give the number with the 1 in the hundreds place 2 points. My other one gets 1, and then I connect my points. So 97 is less than 117. See, this is why the place value chart is so helpful, because a lot of students could sometimes make the mistake and just look at the very first digit, and see that 9 is greater than 1, and say that 97 is greater than 117. And that's incorrect. So that's why I'm requiring that you always put your digits in a place value chart. Alright, let's move on to a more difficult problem, or a problem with more steps. On this one, we're going to have to order from least to greatest. So go ahead and write these numbers down, and so that we can do the work together. So go ahead and pause the video so that you can write these numbers down. I'm going to give you a few seconds on the video. So pause it, write these numbers down, and then we can get started over here. Alright, welcome back. So now that you have your numbers, let's see if you remember. From earlier, when you have to compare numbers, I always want you to put them in a place value chart. And that's helpful, especially right now when we have these larger numbers, or these numbers with more digits. So I'm going to start writing my numbers from the back to the front. And I'm going to make sure that I'm writing them one on top of another to avoid these weird spaces. So I'm going to go over here and start from the back. So I'm going to write the digit 1, 0, 0, 8, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 9. Whoa, look at that, I barely had enough space. And I'm going to go to the next number and start with writing the digits from the back towards the front. So from the ones place all the way to the greater place values. So 1, 0, 1, 8, 9, 6, 7, 3, 8, 9. And if you would like, you can just pause the video and write the numbers on your own, or you can follow along with me. Just make sure that you're writing the digits one on top of another, and you're leaving enough space in between each digit. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next number. So I'm going to start with the ones place. So I have 7, 1, 6, 7, 1, 3, 9, 9. My next number down here, I'm going to start with the ones place. 3, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 3, 8. And now that I'm finished, I'm going to go ahead and make my place value chart around all of these numbers. And then I'm going to put the lines in between. Oh, I skipped this one. And I know, this seems like a lot of work right now, but it's going to be worth it. And it's worth it when it shows you the correct process and lets you get the correct answer. So, I'm going to start from my back to label the place values. I have ones, tens, hundreds, the 1,000s, 10,000s, 100,000s. If at any point I'm going too fast on the video, just pause it and catch up. And then 1 million, excuse me, 10 million, and 100 million, and finally 1 billion. I'm letting you use the shortcuts right now. Now remember, if there's empty boxes like right here, I want you to put zeros to keep your dear teacher happy. Alright, now that my place value chart is all filled out and has digits in every box, I'm going to go ahead and start comparing them just like I did before, from left to right. And I'm going to cover these up with my hand or a sticky note. I prefer the sticky note for myself. And I'm going to start comparing from the very first, from the 1 billionth place value. And right away I see I have 2 9s and 2 zeros. Since I'm ordering from least to greatest, I'm only going to look at the number that is the smallest, because least means smaller or smallest. It's the one with less in it. And so I'm only going to focus now on these bottom 2. And I'm going to go to the next place value. I'm ignoring the top 2. I'm only going to look at the bottom. And I have 2 zeros again. So that means I have to go to the next place value. And I have a 9 and an 8. Since I'm looking for the least, I'm trying to order the from smallest to greatest. I'm going to write this number down first, because 8 is smaller than 9. So now I can uncover the rest of my digits so that I can write the number out correctly. I'm going to go ahead and write it down here. I have 8, 3, 9, 9. And another 9, 8, 3. And I'm going to start from the back to the front to make sure I have the commas in the correct spot. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Good. Now that I've written it down, I can cross this whole row out. And then I can go back to the first place value. Again, I see that I have a 9, a 9, and a 0. Obviously, 0 is my smallest number, the least. So I can now uncover this whole section. I'm going to write all of these numbers down. When you have zeros that you've added, just to keep your dear teacher happy, like these 4 right here, you can leave them out. So I'm going to leave these zeros out and just start writing from here. 9, 9, 3, 1, 7, 6, 1, 7. And then I'm going to go from the back to the front to put my commas in. 1, 2, 3. Comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Now that I've written that number down, I can cross it out. And go back again and keep comparing, continue comparing. I have 9 and 9. They're the same, so I need to move to the next place value. I have 7 and 8. Again, I'm looking from least to greatest, so my smaller number of the 2 is the 7. So I'm going to write this number next. As you can see here, this number also has some zeros. However, these zeros you cannot leave out. You cannot ignore them because they were given to you in the problem. The only zeros you can leave out are zeros that you added to keep your dear teacher happy, like these over here. So I'm going to start copying this number down here. 9, 7, 3, 2, 6, 3, 8, 0, 0, 1. Then I'm going to go from the back to the front to put my commas in the correct spot. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Now that I've written it down, I can cross this whole number out. And all I have left is this number right here to write in the spot. I'm going to squeeze it in here on this edge. 9, 8, 3, 7, 6, 9, 8, 1, 0, 1. And again, from back to front, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. And that's how I've compared them. I've ordered them from least to greatest. Now what you can do is add comparison symbols in between if you would like. But you have to make sure they're pointing or facing the correct way and it's the correct symbol. I know this side is smaller, the least, so I'm going to make sure my symbol says least, or less than. So, and that's going to be true for the rest of them. Okay, hope you enjoyed.